Half a day, I'm Luella Lucina from the Pacific News Center, and you're watching Coffee with the Candidates. I'm with Senator Kelly Marsh Taitano, the legislator's current Assistant Majority Leader. Hi, Senator Kelly, how are you?
Half a day, good to see you.
And so, how are things from your end?
Well, we just started our budget hearing, not hearing, but session. And so, of course, this is very intensive. And then this morning, we were all scheduled, different senators, to be tested for COVID-19. So I understand what's been going on now in the newspaper and in the various media where they talk about the tests.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I know what you mean. We're going to look at your, I guess, the reasons why you're running for re-election this year, and also your perspective on different issues. I know that you are a big advocate of environmental issues, but before we go into that, can you can you share with us what made you run for senator?
Well, initially I was teaching at the university, and I loved interacting with my students. I love exploring information about our island and our region. And I had, for many years, been drawn to help advocate for our community. We have a lot of vulnerable people in our community. We had a lot of concerns about different things like safety of our freshwater lens, which provides for 80% of our drinking water and things like that. And because I had been advocating for those kind of protections or those considerations for our community members, some of the Surahanas had actually asked me to run and stand up for the community at that higher level, because they saw that I was doing it already, and they wanted me in there to really hopefully make a difference.
Okay, so you are very passionate about the environment, obviously, and we've known you as an advocate, and you've introduced a lot of bills supporting environmental issues or addressing environmental issues. And for now, what are the three pressing environmental issues that are the most pressing to you? And if elected, what will you do to address them?
Well, environment is one of the things that I'm most concerned about, as you mentioned, but it is also the community, and right now it just has to be the economy. But for the environment, one of the things that we just had a hearing on not too long ago is updating the Safe Drinking Water Act. So it's really outdated. It's been 15 years since it's been updated. So that's a real important concern. The fact that we just got the rules for the revolving recycling, or the other way around, the recycling revolving fund, adopted it into place again after 16 years of not having been put into place. That's really important. It's going to make some real differences for cleaning up our island, for having zero waste programs, green programs. The junk cars are being removed as we speak. Things like that are really going to shake and move, because typically we get a couple $1 million a year out of that. And I have a resolution that, of course, I think needs a lot of support. So we have bipartisan support, and it's for our marine mammals. So the military are here, and they're testing and training. They just updated the record of decision for the Marianas Island testing and training. And one of the areas of concern by our local scientists, both here and in the Northern Mariana Islands, is active sonar on our marine mammals. We've had, even just recently, whales that they wash up. And so there's been a strong correlation by our scientists and others about the active sonar affecting them. And we actually have. We're this exciting breeding ground for the endangered humpback whales. We're a critical habitat area. I really didn't know much about beaked whales before this, but the important thing here is we're not asking for anything that doesn't exist. Hawaii and California have these agreements with the military that increase critical areas like breeding grounds and other critical habitat areas, they do their testing, but they just don't do their sonar in those critical habitat areas that they've agreed on. So my resolution calls on those same things. If Hawaii has it, if California has it, then we should be having that too. Part of how we're going to envision ourselves for tourism is authentic experiences, and the health of our ocean, that's a major part of what we offer for tourism, are these authentic boat tours and diving tours and things like that. So we really need to protect it. So I'm very hopeful that we're going to get some concessions, like I said, since Hawaii and California have these as well.
You touched briefly on sustainable tourism. So now the island, I think, is looking at diversifying its economy, right? So can you describe, I guess, a perfect model for sustainable tourism for Guam?
Well, you know, one of the things that I would like to talk to, especially Jerry Perez, since he has a background in environment, is, you know, when I was in Singapore, they have a tropical forest and they make a whole tour out of it. You walk by, you see just the various different aspects of that tropical forest. Our tourists come from city areas. They're not familiar with tropical forests. And for us, it's also additionally beneficial because our students can grow up with these kind of tours. And we're lucky in Guam because we actually have 9 ecosystems. We have mangroves, we have, you know, riverines, these river areas. We have 9 ecosystems. We could develop 9 different types of these sort of tours. Not only for the visitors, they're important, of course, they're important for our economy, but for our own students, the Manamku grew up fishing in our rivers, making a living from the rivers, you know, things that maybe a lot of us don't understand, myself included for many years, and I still have a lot of learning to do, but about how our Manamko actually grew up in these ecosystems, using each and every one of them to catch shrimp, to catch mangrove crabs, all of that. So that's just one possibility, but there are many, many more.
And for you personally, what resources can we tap, I mean, on island to further these initiatives?
Well, definitely we have at the University of Guam and at the Guam Community College, and then in our own government agency and nonprofits as well. So we have a plethora of these different organizations and units that can bring their expertise, that can bring in federal funds, that can bring in national and international grants to support a lot of initiatives like this. I mean, one of the things that I've dreamed of for a long time is, I don't know about you, but I grew up with every Sunday, we had like the Disney hour, and then we had Mutual of Omaha's like nature experience. And I really want to see for us like a documentary series about our 9 ecosystems. We have incredible things in our ecosystems. We have eels in our rivers that go out to the ocean to spawn. And then just like the salmon, right? They find their way back stream to the place that they came from. I mean, for me, it's almost like this parallel universe of a lot of amazing things that happen in our ecosystem.
So looking at another aspect of the environment, so what's your stance on renewable energy? Do you think it's achievable? I mean, for Guam, I know we have a target, a goal for renewable energy, and what's your stance on this?
I think it's absolutely imperative that we do this. It's going to help lower costs. And I think we all want that. And then it's a safer option. So we have sun, we have plenty of it. We have, you know, I'm not sure what all the best options are. I know that solar energy is a big one, but we have also looked at capturing wave action. That one might not be as viable. And then the wind turbines, which also may not be as viable. But we have several options that we need to look at seriously. Like I said, it's going to save us money, but it's also cleaner. It's cleaner to run, but also we're eliminating the possibilities of oil spills or those fires we had many years ago, different sort of calamities that can happen through leakage, spillage, or other issues. So we're seeing that GDOE is hopefully going to go in this direction. And as you mentioned, we are going towards as close to and hopefully 100% as we can get.
So we're almost at the end of our interview. Any final words for our viewers?
Well, I just want to say that, in order to talk about all of these things, even now I've already done a hard shift to our economy, to looking at what we can do we've talked about diversifying our economy for a long time, but I'm meeting with economists, and I'm doing a lot of research so that regionally and on our island, I'm trying to figure out ways we can develop new industries and ways to build up our network so that we have more food security, just less dependence on the outside for a lot of these hard times that come our way, super typhoons or whatever it is. We need to be able to get through them. And the type of industries that I'm looking for, I think will really help us in that way and give us a lot more control over our own economy.
Thank you, Sandra, Kelly. And that's it for us that's it for us. Thank you for thank you for watching Coffee with the Candidates.
Yes, and always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Sizus Maasi.
And that's it for us. Thank you for watching Coffee with the Candidates, and stay tuned for more interviews.